Hello everyone, Cody here with another video. To begin with, apologies for the last video. Some of you who follow my channel and actually saw that video realized that there was actually no audio happening. So what happened was I was in a rush and had recorded, but I hadn't actually checked my audio settings. I kind of switched between a couple of audio devices depending on what I'm doing. Like for example, if I'm gaming or something, I'm using this, but if I'm talking or on a podcast or doing something like that, I'm using this Roadster here. So I had not checked, and apparently my Roadster was unplugged, and then so I was just basically talking, and there was no audio whatsoever. So I'm gonna have to re-record the video, and that's what this video is. So this video is really all about what my new rating system is going to be. I want to release my first review and make sure that everyone understands what my new criteria is going forward. Now, I've revised this a couple of times over the years, and this is more suited to, I believe, what I want to actually go ahead and convey, right? So there's a couple things that you're going to notice. The first thing is that my rating is going to be out of 10. I find that when I had my rating out of 5, I would most often have to go like 4.5 stars, 3.5. I'd have to, it would leave me with, I guess you could say, not as clear options as I wanted to kind of distinguish fragrances in between, just because there was not as much room for me to kind of go with, right? So that's the first major thing. The second major thing are the categories that I'm talking about here, right? Now I'm moving to a 4 kind of category system where I'm going to explain what they are, but 4 categories are going to explain or going to make up what I give a scent as a rating, right? So the first category is going to be scent, right? Scent is obviously subjective in terms of how people view it, right? A scent is going to be, to me, I could find something that smells absolutely fantastic, but to somebody else it smells trash, right? But for scent, what I'm actually going to be doing is first, obviously it's going to be how I feel about the scent, right? Do I think it smells good? Do I think it smells bad? Right? And then I'm also going to add some objectivity into it, into my perception of what I think it will be, at least for the masses, right? Versus, how will somebody who is a collector feel about it versus somebody who isn't that into fragrances and might just want to smell good? How are they going to feel about it? And I feel this part of my review is just as important, just because there have been other scents that I thought that smelled okay, but I thought they were going to be blockbusters as far as people thinking that they were going to be. For example, Bleu de Chanel was one. Um, that Dior Homme, or not Dior Homme, but Sauvage was another one. So there are certain scents like that that I want to make sure that I convey, who's going to kind of like this scent. So within that scent, that's all going to be comprised of. The second is performance. Performance is going to be the sillage, the scent trail. What kind of scent trail it leaves behind, how much it projects on your skin, how much it stays on your skin, right? There are some aspects of this that are definitely a little bit more subjective and more personal, but at the same time, performance that I found over the years, it kind of has a general term and almost like a band, if you will, right? And by band, I mean, if a fragrance will typically, if a fragrance typically has bad performance, or just outright bad performance, it typically won't last really well on anyone's skin for that matter. You'll see the majority of people saying that it doesn't last on their skin, but then you'll see a couple outliers saying, oh, it lasts, kind of decent on it. So I'm kind of weighing towards the majority opinion here, if you will, on that. So we'll see how that goes out. But performance is going to combine all those. The third is going to be creativity. What I'm calling creativity is really, it's really targeting a lot of these scents that are, I guess you could say, they're clones, if you will, right? So a sense that, in my opinion, a scent that is a direct, a direct clone of something loses points in terms of originality, right? Because why not just go for the original on that? I get it that it's cheaper, etc. Whatever the case may be, the point is you're going to lose some points if it's not quote unquote original. Now, one of the challenging aspects of this rating, I'm going to flat out say, is that because so many scents are out, there is almost always going to be a scent that smells like some other scent or another, right? So I'm more interested in the sense that, get, creative, if you will, that do something a little bit different. And it doesn't necessarily even have to do something different, but it's going to be reflected in the score either way or another, right? So this is going to be kind of a one that goes either or way. I want to see how this is going to turn out. Hopefully it turns out well. And then finally, there's going to be value, right? Value, again, it's another something that's subjective. Again, all of this is subjective at the same time. But at the same time, I'm going to put some objective spin onto this. This is, the price that you're going to pay for something. Like if I see a scent that smells like, for example, a Millésime Imperial or something like that. Or let's use like Spirito de Bouvigny, right? If something smells like that, and is at like half the price point but still somehow retains that luxurious feel to it, then I'm going to give it good points, right? If something is smells like your typical designer or run of the mill everyday type of a scent, and they're charging $500 for it, it's going to reflect negatively on that, right? And so I'm going to try and approach this from a perspective of somebody who is not necessarily even a collector, but somebody who is an average everyday person, somebody who has, I guess you could say, limited means in terms of like, yeah, they'll drop 200, 300 here occasionally on a fragrance, but they're going to kind of limit that. That is kind of what I want to target. I'm not really concerned with people who have unlimited funds, because somebody who has unlimited funds, the concept of value doesn't have the same meaning, if you will. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes. So those are going to be the four things. They're going to combine up to 10 points. So theoretically 2.5 for each, and we'll see where we go from there. All right. I'm trying to get my editing software squared away. I may not have that squared away before I start doing my first reviews, but they will eventually come. So prepare for a little bit of a Bush League reviews, if you will, but I really want to get back into reviewing, and I just want to keep going forward until, I don't I don't want that to stop me from doing reviews. So that's what it is. All right, thanks guys for listening. That's what the review system is going to be. And we'll get started with some reviews. Thank you guys. Take care of yourselves. You guys have a great day.